What is up? It's Sunday. That means Sunday fun day. It's time to cook some breakfast and talk about what's been going on this month. Let's get going here. So we're gonna do the perfect breakfast sandwich. Now, I feel like the perfect breakfast sandwich should probably have sliced tomatoes and maybe capers, but I don't have that today. So I'm not gonna do that. But I am gonna get some bacon going. Let's see here. So there's a lot to talk about. Nothing too serious, but a lot of stuff. First off, we're experiencing a heat wave here in San Diego, and it is brutal. I'm talking. Ooh, look at that. It is brutal. We're talking like 97 degrees in the house, like every day for the last week. And if you don't know this, if you're not from the area, a lot of houses in San Diego do not have AC because, you know, about 11 months out of the year, you really don't need it. Even the heat, it's like it doesn't really get that cold and it doesn't really get that hot. So, you know, that's why people like to live here, because the weather's awesome. But right now, this is brutal. No exaggeration, I pulled up a stool and set it in front of the refrigerator last night, and I put my hands in the freezer and I sat down on the stool with the fridge door open up until my wife would no longer allow me to do so, because it was just so hot, and I was trying to go to bed, and I was just like dying. I was like, man, this is always the dilemma. Is like the pan never has enough room for this, and it's like I'm not gonna cook one piece of bacon. There's no way. I gotta make room. I use my thumb because I'm cooking for myself. My germs are my germs. So yeah, enough about the heat wave. The heat wave sucks. That's what I'm dealing with right now. Today was nice though, because one good thing that does come with a heat wave is increased water temperatures. So it would probably, the water here in San Diego would probably normally be like in the mid 60s right now, which isn't that bad, but it still kind of warrants a wetsuit. But today it was like 74, which is just insane for the water here. So I went for a nice like 3-hour surf with a buddy this morning. That was awesome. Ooh, gotta get this coffee going too. And the water felt great the whole time. You know, it never got cold. So that's wonderful. I have a lot of gear stuff going on this month. I'm not a person that's like, I'm not a gearhead. I'm not someone that like always wants to have new amps and new pedals and always be trying stuff out, and like I've just never been that person. I like to just I like to have good stuff, but just kind of like, have I tested it? Yes. And did I like it? Yes. Can I use this all the time? That's kind of my thing when I buy a gear, is like, will I use this you know, for everything. That's why like when I make a big purchase on like, you know, something like the Fab Filter Pro Q2 equalizer or the Pro MD from that same company, it's like, yes, those might cost over $100, but this is something I'm going to use on 90% of the tracks in every song I do, so it totally warrants making that investment. Now, same with guitars. I don't like to have 50 guitars. I like to have like 4 great ones. So I've got my Ernie Ball, which I've had since 2011, I think. And that was part of an endorsement deal through a band that I was in. It was a kind of like a trial endorsement deal. So basically what they did was they said, hey, we're interested in endorsing you. We'll give you 1 free guitar from our custom shop any way you want it. And if things go good, we'll talk more. And I kind of knew at that time I was, I don't know, probably like 20 years old, and I very very much so a poor kid, like living on my own with my band members, making nothing, absolutely nothing, just like living in a trailer in a gross mobile home park in Central Florida, and just kind of knowing that this was going to be my opportunity to get a nice guitar, and that I shouldn't screw it up, and that I should not assume that I'm going to get another one. And I'm really glad that I didn't, because guess what? I didn't. That band broke up, and I didn't get, any more from that endorsement deal. And had I, gotten some weird guitar from their custom shop and not, basically what I did was I looked at the order form, and I picked the most expensive thing I could. The most expensive wood, the most expensive neck, the most expensive, because I was looking at it as like, hey, this is your chance. This is your chance to have something. So for me, that guitar it's my workhorse. I use it on everything. I've got that, and I've got my early 90s Fender Strat, which, it's just one of those guitars. There's a reason why it's still around. Same with the Telecaster. And it's just because, it is a great guitar. And then to me, specifically, I will always love the neck pickup sound on a Fender Stratocaster. It's just that's one of the greatest things in the world. But I sold a guitar this month, which is something I don't do very often. And it was a guitar that I was, really interested in. This was the Solar brand guitar from a YouTube guy, Ola England, and it had the Evertune bridge, and that to me is the holy grail of guitar equipment. If you've not heard of this, it's a tension-based bridge that keeps your guitar in tune and keeps it perfectly intonated. And we're not talking about like lock-in tuners or something like that. We're talking way more than that. It's the greatest thing in the world. The only problem is that I wasn't totally in love with the guitar that the bridge was attached to. So now I'm hell-bent on finding a guitar that I really like. Man, I burnt my butter. That's a thing. You can totally burn your butter. Not paying attention. I'm talking about guitars. I'm hell-bent on finding a guitar that meets my requirements. I want a maple neck, because I like maple necks. I want 24 frets. I want good pickups that I don't need to replace, something versatile. And it's got to have a humbucker in the bridge, and I need an Evertune. And I've looked at my options, and I don't love them. So the guitar that I want is the Charvel Pro Mod series. I really like what Charvel's doing, and their necks are they're just fantastic. They're just great. But Evertune will not install their bridge on those guitars. They just won't do it. So I found a custom guitar builder here in, I think, LA that does Evertune installations. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. So this is my life goal, is to get this Charvel and get an Evertune installed on it. That's what I really want. I also sold another piece of gear that I never thought in a million years I would sell. And that was my Axe-Fx, my Axe-Fx 2XL Plus. It was a piece of gear that I wanted for years and years and years and years and years. I was absolutely obsessed with it. And I was like, man, if I could just get this, it'll solve all my problems. And it really did. It really did. I saved up a bunch of money, and I got an Axe-Fx. I did it. It was extremely expensive. And I used it for every single thing I did. Every demo, every non-demo, every time going into a studio, whatever band it was, whether it was my metal project, Dear Apollo, whether it was Cold Barbies, even Cold Barbies, the puppet was done with my Axe effects. But along comes this company, Neural DSP, and I'm gonna use my teeth. Neural DSP, and they start making amp sims that are just on a different level than everything that's been available for years and years and years. And I remember when I did the guitars for the puppet and I was mixing that song, I had to do a lot of post work to make them work in the mix, and they didn't sound that great. I mean, they ended up sounding pretty good, but a lot went into making them sound good. And that's not, you know, that sucks when you can't just have a good source tone. So I get this 14-day trial for the Archetype Nolly from Neural DSP. I highly recommend at least trying it out. It's free to try it out. And it felt like I plugged in this amp sim and I already had a better tone than I had been working on for 5 years. That's what it felt like. And that is a kick in the face as someone who records all their own music. So I pulled the trigger and I just said, you know what, I'm gonna buy this because this is $100 and I'm gonna sell my Axe effects. And that's what I did. And I sold my Axe effects. I didn't think twice. And, you know, that was a big move for me. I really, truly never thought that thing was gonna go anywhere. Now, more exciting news is that I'm trying not to over toast this bagel, but it needs more. A little bit more. I like a little bit of crunch with some soft. It's gotta be a little soft. More exciting news. My first guitar that I ever got when I was a kid, I got it when I was, 6, 7 years old, something like that, was my dad's first guitar as well. And that is a 1988 canary yellow Fender Stratocaster. And I recently reached out to my dad and asked if he would send it back from Florida over to San Diego. And he agreed, and he just sent it, and I'm getting it tomorrow, and I'm so excited just to see it. I know that like the pickups that are in it are, like Kirk Hammett EMGs, and no, I don't want those at all. But I'm just so excited to have that guitar again back in my life and in my small guitar collection. It's gonna be so cool. Look at this. Here we go. I made bacon out of pure instinct, like I do when I'm cooking for me and my wife. Normally, if I was cooking for myself, I'd probably make 3 slices, and I just made 6. So, you know what that means? I'm gonna Ron Swanson this thing out. We're going bacon, just like that. I'm gonna put a little mayonnaise because I'm a human. Mayonnaise is delicious. I don't care what you say. What else do I have to talk about? Oh, geez. Wrote a song this month. I guess that's important. The song comes out August 31st. It's called Heavy Water. It's a completely different style of anything that I've done so far. And, that's obviously what I've said is the theme with Cold Barbies, but it's drastically different. It's taking a much softer side. It's mostly an acoustic song, and it'll just show a different side of this. And I'm already working on the next month's song, which is, I don't want to say the name of it because I don't even know if that's what I'm going to end up calling it, but completely different sounding song. More of a prog rock song, another thing I haven't done yet. So I'm excited about that, and if all goes well, which I think it will, the video will be releasing August 31st as well with the song Heavy Water, so please check that out. And that same company, Neural DSP, I follow them on YouTube, and they put out a solo competition where you write a solo over a really weird piece of music from Animals as Leaders, and I did it. I submitted my solo entry, so if you'd like to check that out, I posted that on the Cold Barbies Facebook, and I believe our Instagram as well. So get on there and you can see my my guitar solo submission for the Neural DSP Abasi solo competition. Wish me luck. Grand prize is a Abasi guitar, which is, they're just sick. I would love to have one. And let's just take a second here and let's look at this breakfast sandwich from all angles. Oh, guys, don't worry about my health. I only eat once a day, so this is gonna be all the calories for today. That's plenty of them. All right, this is breakfast update number 2, August. It was good to have you here while I cooked breakfast this morning. Have a great life, whatever, and please like and subscribe. And I will be with you very shortly here when I post the making of Heavy Water. I've been taking videos all month, and when I post the music video in a couple days, August 31st, please, the link is in our everything for the pre-saves for that. So go ahead and jump on Spotify and give that a pre-save so you make sure you get it on day 1. All right, much love. Adios. I'm about to chow down. Mwah.